Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to everyone who's joining in. I am Midhu Luke, your everyday resilience mentor, and I'm delighted to be your host for this edition of the PSAI Talk Show. I'm a part of the PSAI Professional Speakers Association of India, and I serve as the president for the Bengaluru chapter, and I'm the marketing chair for the upcoming Professional Speakers Summit in 2026. So, beyond my professional role and day job as a corporate worker, I'm someone who deeply values authentic connections, meaningful conversations, and the power of stories that help us grow, learn, and be resilient together and move forward together. For those who are joining us for the first time today, especially our friends who may not yet be a part of PSAI, here is a very quick introduction to all that PSAI is. The Professional Speakers Association of India, or PSAI, was formed to build a strong, supportive community that helps one enhance their professional speaking career, not just in India, but globally. And PSA is proud to be part of the GSF, the Global Speakers Federation, which is an alliance of about 17 national speaking associations around the world. In India, PSA has active chapters in Chennai, Bengaluru, Delhi, Mumbai, Hyderabad, and Vadodara. And we have just about launched a new virtual chapter to connect speakers everywhere else other than these cities mentioned. Now, just a little about the PSA Talk Show. This is a live interactive event and it's designed to raise awareness about high impact speaking topics while giving all of us deeper insights into PSA's vision, values, and the benefits of being part of a speaking fraternity. It's a space where you can ask questions live, learn from experts, and connect with passionate professionals from across the country. And on that note, I'm very thrilled to introduce our guest for today, Deepak Khemani. He's an international keynote speaker, he's a mentor, facilitator. He works with both individuals and groups, helping them plan for success and reset their mindset to achieve their desired goals. Deepak is an advanced financial goal planner. He's a life member of the $1 Million Roundtable and a life member of the Chairman's Club, LIC of India. Do we have Deepak here? Welcome, Deepak. That's a lot of accomplishments packed into one introduction, Deepak Himani. Could you tell us a
Thank you.
little more about yourself and your hobbies, maybe your interests, anything else that you would like all of us to know, which is not there in
Thank
your
you.
LinkedIn?
Thank you, Midhu, for that, wonderful introduction. Happy to be here as a guest on the PSAI Talk Show. And just taking off from what you said, what do I do? Well, I wear many hats, and I'm not wearing any hat just now. But my core area of expertise is personal finance. I help people guide them and plan for their financial freedom. So, if somebody is looking and do not know what they want to do with their money, how to achieve their financial goals, I am the person to connect with. Having said that, that is the basic area, the core profession of mine. The other thing that I do is coaching and training and also facilitate, as you said. I love speaking. I love talking with people. I love standing up on stage, whether I'm, holding the mic as a speaker, whether I'm hosting the event as an MC or even as a panel moderator. So, as I said, I wear many hats and many of these, fall under all these categories.
That is lovely, Deepak. And Deepak, I've been following you for some time now on various platforms, and and ardently following you, taking down notes. One thing I've noticed is your passion for finance, and one of the things that you keep saying is about diversification of assets. That's something I've noticed, and not just on the platforms that you talk about, but also on the podcast that you give for others as a guest, etc. And I'm seeing that you are talking about your career from finance standpoint, MC standpoint, panel moderator. I have seen you hosting the shows that you host. That is a lot of diversification in itself within the speaking industry. Is that something that's a calculated step or just happened naturally? Tell us a little more.
Okay. So there was never any intention of becoming a professional speaker or a coach or even a mentor. As you travel through life, you gain experiences, and one fine day somebody lands up in office and he says, "You know what? I've heard that you have got so many years of experience. Why don't you write a book? Why don't you host this program? Why don't you become a speaker?" And one thing led to another, and as they say, a series of events happen. There are times, and I'm a big believer in destiny. So if something is bound to happen, something is going to happen, things will fall in place so that they lead you into that direction. I'm sure you also would be one of those people in that camp where these roads simply open up. So it starts with something, but it leads you over there. When you say diversification, the idea is, as a professional speaker, as the name suggests, a lot of people think or believe that professional speaking, or even public speaking for that matter, is only speaking. You need to go up, stand up on stage, deliver a message, give a presentation, and then back to home. No, it doesn't work like that. If I am a speaker, if I am able to, change somebody's life, if I can impact someone, if I can motivate someone as a speaker, consequently, I could also probably coach them, mentor them, take charge of the stage. So whenever any opportunity falls into your lap, I've always been the one who's taken it without bothering or thinking what will happen. As they say, दुनिया में सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग? What will people say? Never bother about what will people will say. Go ahead and just do it. As Nike says, just do it.
Interesting motto there. And you were talking about getting on stage, like, right? Is that something that you like to do? Do you remember your first ever time on stage? And if you can tell us your age at that point in time, tell us what emotions do you
You know,
remember?
I'll tell you my story of first time I was given an opportunity to stand up on stage, but I never took it. And I was in school. I was 16 years old, and there was an inter-school, interstate competition. And there was one person who needed to be selected in school who would go up and stand up on stage and and represent our school. So our vice principal walked in into our class and she said, "Deepak, I have selected you, and this is what you are going to do." And that is the time when the fear of public speaking sets in. They say that it's even higher than facing a lion in real life. You would rather face a lion rather than go up on stage. So I started crying and begging and telling my principal, no, not me. I've never, done this. I don't know what to do. And she said, no, you don't worry. I know whom I'm selecting. I know your caliber. I know what you can do. Just don't worry. Go ahead. And you are 16 years old, so you don't know what to do. I didn't even tell anybody in my house or my parents. I simply ran into the principal's office, begged her, don't send me. And finally she agreed, and she took on some other person. Cut to 4 or 5 years later, when I was in college, and rather, it shouldn't sound like bragging, but in my life, whenever I have wanted to do something, I've always tried to excel. So just five years later, I'm in college, and we have finished our professional program. I'm an electronic engineer by qualification. I stood first in my college, and at the end, there was going to be a seminar where a lot of teachers from across the state were coming. And our college principal reached out to me saying, "Deepak, you are the person who is going to take this program." Just in 5 years, that Deepak, who was afraid of standing up on stage, because this was my core expertise. 2 full days I stood up on stage, and and I taught 45 and 55 years old as a 21-year-old. So that is what gave you confidence. Why? Because I was speaking on my topic, on my core subject, something. I tell people, a lot of people tell me I don't know what to say. I tell people, if I wake you up at 2 o'clock in the night and ask you something, and if you start babbling without even opening your eyes, that is your core topic. That is your core subject. That is your message. That is what is there in your heart and mind. That is what people want to hear. So the first was abject failure, but within 5 years, we reached a point where I was standing up on stage and addressing crowds of people.
Very, very impressive story, and I'm sure that's going to inspire a whole lot of speakers who are listening in. I've got two questions for you, and I'm just trying to ask that. One is, the person who said I can't be on stage, took up the opportunity. I mean, what did you do in that 5 years that helped you get on stage and to speak to people? Second is, you were talking about your core topic that you can talk at any point in time in the night. How did you identify that at that young an age?
Yeah, so one part was that in that school, that little 16-year-old Deepak who was there wasn't too confident. He was a little shy, hadn't, seen the world or been exposed to a lot of people outside the family and school friends. That's all. In 5 years, you went to college, it was a different community, there were different friends. You learned new things, you became an adult, from 16 to 21 in 5 years. You literally grew up, literally you grew up. You saw the world, and again, I tell people there is something which is inside you which draws you to that particular topic. So when I completed my engineering, I was so fascinated by the topic or the subject that we literally went deep inside. It wasn't about reading the book and giving an exam. It was about understanding the topic and the subject. And in both cases, it was the principal. Previously, it was the principal. Here also, it was the principal. Both cases, the principal reaching out and telling you, you know what, I know you can do it. The first Deepak, 16 years old, wasn't confident. The 21-year-old guy was super confident. Yes, let's take it on. Yeah, that's how it happened.
Interesting. And I was also asking you, how did you understand your topic? We call this as niche in our speaking world, right? How did
Yes,
you identify that?
yeah. So this is a good question, and I would like to address this. In the past few years, we've heard from many, many speakers, both Indian and international speakers, where they say that you should have a niche. They say go 1 inch wide and go 1 mile deep, which means if you want to stand apart in the crowd amongst professional speakers, or you want to be known that ABCD or Deepak speaks on this topic or Midhu speaks on this topic. Everything should revolve around that, and you should go deep. I think what has changed post COVID is this. It's good to have a core topic, a core expertise, a core subject on which you speak. But there need to be satellite topics. There need to be topics in and around that core topic, which also should be identifiable. So today when I stand up, when people tell me, when there is a personal finance story or a topic or a conference opening up, I will recommend your name. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I will take that. But what if somebody needs a powerful speaker who may or may not talk about personal finance, but who can talk about motivation, who can talk about inspiration, who can talk about his or her life story? I'm interested. I'm taking those topics. I believe all of us, and not speakers, all of us across the world, each and every person has a unique story. And your story is only your story. And the whole world is waiting to listen to your story. Stand up, speak. People will listen to you. Stand up, speak, and lead. People will follow you. So, all of us have a core story, but don't confine yourself to one core topic. Have a few satellite topics in and around that core topic too.
That is quite interesting. And I was also thinking that you don't confine yourself to one platform. I've seen you speak, I've seen you write. Then I've also seen you presenting things in various formats. You do have a YouTube channel where you see very short format content. You also write. And there was a time when you were doing videos every day on LinkedIn. Tell us a little more about that diversification as well.
Well, as far as YouTube is concerned, I would, think and tell myself that I was far ahead of the crowd. What everybody is doing, making reels and shorts nowadays, or in the last 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 years, I started posting a video every day on YouTube and LinkedIn in 2018 and 19. I gave myself a challenge that I will create one video, a 2 minute video on a topic of my core expertise, that is personal finance, and I will put it out every day non-stop for 365 days. So it was a challenge. And how did that challenge come about? I was attending a program of a motivational speaker, and that person advised us. It was a 3-day program, and he said every day when you learn something, go in the evening, go home, put a video of your learnings of today, and the person who puts up the best video in these 3 days will win a prize. And for all the 3 days, I put up that video for that particular person, and I won the prize, of course. Then I thought to myself, if I can create a video for someone else, why can't I create a video for my audience on my core topic? So that is when that self challenge started. I made one video every day for 365, and it extended to 500 days. So for 500 days, every day, non-stop, without fail, one video of 2 minutes on a core topic of my subject, personal finance, went out every day on LinkedIn and YouTube. Yes, yeah,
And I think you're still continuing with that. I see you do this in shortest periods.
yes, yes.
I'm just wondering, how do you connect with your audience ahead of time? How do you know what is that they need? How do you pick up the right topic, and how do you pick up the right span? Can you tell us the secret of maintaining the balance?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful question. I mean, Midhu, thank you for asking this. So, the fact that I am also a practitioner in my personal finance space, I help people manage their money, and most of my clients give me their full wallet share. What does that mean? As a personal finance advisor, most of my clients come to me for all their money problems and solutions. So, if they have a thing with the life insurance, they will come to me for health insurance, for mutual funds, for fixed deposits, for bonds. A child is born in the family. How do we plan for him or her when they grow up? Retirement solutions, everything. Now, you have so many things to do. You have so many clients. Every day, one client will call you up with one particular problem or a question. I pick up that particular question and make that video as the video of the day. So somebody calls me up, I'm in hospital and my cashless hospitalization is not working. Deepak, help me. I'm here, my, bond has matured. When will the money come to my account? My credit card bill was due yesterday. I forgot to pay. What will happen if I pay today? Can I pay in parts? So every question that was a real life question became a video. It wasn't something which was picked up. I go to AI, I go to Chat GPT or any other model, and I tell, give me 50 questions on personal finance. No, no, no. These were all videos of real life solutions, real life problems faced by people like you and me. That is why it connected. And I'll just tell you one thing, the idea of putting out the video was not to gain money from YouTube. It's just about helping people. One person from some far off corner in North India one day calls me up and he said, you know what? My daughter is 4 years old. She was born with a birth defect. I have a health insurance policy and the company is not paying us money. I saw your video on YouTube on how to claim money when your company is not paying, and please help me out. I never thought that my video will go to somebody whom I don't even know. But even if all the effort I'm putting into, and by the way, to make 1 minute, a one video of 2 minutes, it doesn't take 2 minutes. It takes probably an hour. You need to record, you need to add titles, you need to edit it, fit it in the time frame, all the resolution and all that, upload it on different platforms. But even if one video of mine can change the life of one person whom I don't even know, I'm doing it and I'm happy that I'm doing it.
So it's a service mentality which is driving you, and that also
When
helps
you
you serve.
give, when you give, you get. Givers gain, as they say in BNI. Givers gain.
Lovely, lovely, Deepak. Thank you so much for sharing that. I also have seen you host events twice at least in the last 1.5, 2 years that I've known you. Twice at least on stage. So I'm just wondering, we are doing this virtually, and when you are an event host versus, let's say, a panel moderator or a virtual event host, how do you think the responsibilities would change? What is different in each of these scenarios?
So, in the virtual space, you are sitting in front of a screen and there is an audience. You probably have a guest whom you are asking questions and answers. There is a little bit delay, but everybody is in their own space and there isn't too much to do or manage in that sense of the word. However, in the real life space, when you are standing up on stage and if you are hosting an event, it could be a 50 people event, it could be a 200 people event. I have hosted, 500 people events also. Every space is different. When you have a 25, 30, 50 people event, the energy is different, the crowd is different. You can actually see every person right in front of you. You can make out he's going to sleep, or she is distracted by her phone, or somebody is not paying attention. You can actually walk down to the crowd and, just give them a pat on the back, or then mix them up. When it's a large audience, 3, 4, 500 people, obviously you are not seeing what is happening in the last 10, 15 rows. Every stage is different. Every space is different. All I can say is you need to bring out every ounce of energy, every idea in your head to try and manage not only the people speaking on stage or the panel moderation that is going on, but controlling the crowd too, the audience too. It's different every place.
Yeah. I was also just wondering, when you see these distractions in the crowd, maybe, there is something which is going wrong, perhaps. Maybe there's an unexpected change in the program.
Yes,
And you've got something, a responsibility that you've been given to host the
yeah,
program, and there is an unexpected change, or there's a
yeah.
mishap that has happened. How do you deal with it? Has it happened to you in real life? Something like that?
Okay.
Something that's not gone
So
well?
for want of a better word, instead of mishap, changes. Yeah. So you are given a schedule, you have studied the schedule, speaker number A is coming first, B, C, D, all that. You prepared in your mind, you've learned and memorized probably their intros also, and suddenly someone at the end decides to drop out. Or someone decides that instead of 15 minutes, they will speak for 25 minutes. And it is impossible. A lot of people say that, what, I would send them messages or give them signs that it is okay, time out and all that. When all of us are speakers and we all understand this, we love to be on stage, we love to be holding the mic. And when you are in that zone, when you are speaking, many a times you forget the clock, even though it is there right in front of you. It's counting down, it's counting up, but you are in that zone. So it is very, very difficult to stop a speaker who is in that zone. But it only comes with time and how well you know the speaker. There are times you probably need to walk in and say, you know what, there are other speakers waiting. It would be good if we could finish in 2 minutes. Although I have hosted many programs, many shows, both online and offline, where I call people and give them an opportunity to speak or ask a question. And I tell them, sir, you've got only 2 minutes. And they'll probably go on for 5+ minutes until I come in and stop them. 2 minutes are over. So one way is doing it with a sense of humor. You probably come in, crack a small joke or something that is humorous, that changes the energy of both the speaker and the audience too. Come up with some wisecracks. Abhijit from Mumbai chapter, our previous president, he says, you come up with a lot of these PJs. He says these are very, very poor jokes. Having said that, a few people get it, a few people don't. But it changes it changes the mood, it changes the environment, it changes the energy, and it causes, gives a reset. Everybody forgets what's going on, and then we move on.
Yeah. It's a nice scenario that you took in as an example, right? So let's say that the speakers cross their time. I'm sure whether it's online or offline, it may not be acceptable to exceed the time limits beyond a certain buffer time, right? So then people might be getting impatient. And in that case, how do you read and most importantly manage the room's energy as an event host, as an MC, and try to calm people down? Any incidents that you would like to share?
So one, I'll share you my incident as actually a speaker. I was on stage and I was given 30 minutes, and the previous speaker took 10 minutes extra. So I was left with only 20 minutes. Now I'm burning inside. What is this guy doing? He's taken away 10 minutes of my 30 minutes. However, you are on stage, you are there to give a presentation, and the person who introduced me very clearly said, Deepak, you are on stage, but you got only 20 minutes. Please try and complete your thing, your presentation in the next 20 minutes. And you know what? I completed in 18. But when I completed in 18, I made it a point to tell the audience, see, I finished before my time. I've kept 2 minutes extra for the next speaker who's coming. So you are just trying to add that little bit of fun, a little bit of humor, and probably also rubbing it in, telling the
Yes.
previous guy, you took a little bit of my time. As an MC or a host, it is different. It is difficult. And I'll actually tell you a real story. This happened in PSS 24. I was on stage along with Peggy from Dubai, and we were hosting PSS 24 last year. And two or three speakers actually overshot their time. And the person who was coordinating the timing and the stage, She's frantically making all these gestures from there, right down, sitting next to me. Deepak, come on, come on. At some point, it is difficult to go and interrupt a speaker who is in the flow. So sometimes you have to just allow it to happen or let it go. You had 30, you are in 35, 36 minutes. Hopefully you will close. Sometimes you have to be a little bit rude and, walk in and say, your time is up. So in online spaces, twice or thrice this has happened. I had actually, got to unmute myself and tell the speaker as a host, this is to tell you that your time is over. There are other people who need to have the mic, have the stage. So please close in 1 minute. So it's not that you abruptly shut down someone. You give them just that little bit time with a fair warning that please, please close.
So it's an on-the-go improvisation. These are not things
Yes,
that you
yes,
can ever be
yes.
prepared for.
You can never be prepared for this because you don't know the kind of person who is speaking. You don't know his caliber. You probably do not know the kind of expertise he has. So let's say I'm speaking to somebody who is a 25-year-old Gen Z who's speaking on the latest topic in AI. That person will understand. But if it is a 56-year-old army veteran, who is probably having multiple medals on his coat next to his shoulder, it is very, very difficult to go and interrupt those sort of people. So it has to be on the fly. Yeah.
So is this very important? Do you think it's important to connect with people that you need to interact with or manage the time off ahead of time? And what sort of homework do you do for that? Can you share a little?
So as you are aware, I've been hosting a program for Bloom, which is the Sunday Bloom Talk Show. We just completed 269 episodes. And let me be very candid, very frank here that, out of the 269 episodes, I may have co-hosted or hosted 250 plus videos. And out of those 250 episodes, I had never met at least 200 of these people. I had never seen them before the show. So I knew nothing about them. There have been times when the creative goes out on Saturday knowing that, X person is going to be coming as a guest on our show. So one point is, and as you all are aware nowadays, LinkedIn is a great resource to come to know about professionals. So most of us are on LinkedIn. Every one of us have an intro, a little bit of what we do. So that gives us an idea of what kind of person they are and the kind of posts they put up, whether regularly or whether, once in a time. That is a good place to know about people. Of course, connections happen. You reach out to a person, talk to them before, one day before, maybe a few days before. I remember when I was hosting PSS 24 last year in Delhi, there were quite a few speakers, international speakers who had come from abroad, and we hadn't connected yet. I met two of the speakers during breakfast time on the first day. So we spent, like 5-10 minutes knowing them. You know what, Mr. ABCD, I'm going to introduce you on stage when you are called. Tell me a little bit about you. And a lot of these international speakers, many a times, it's difficult to pronounce their name correctly. So you also have to reach out and ask them, how do I pronounce your name? Many a times, they have either these French names or German names, Nordic names, South African names. They spell it differently, but the pronunciation is different. Yeah, so these things matter.
Yeah. And what if you messed up a name on stage? Has it ever happened to you?
Well, I think I have never messed up on a name on stage, but
Okay.
before we met that person, I, addressed him or her improperly. Then they corrected me. This is how you need to introduce me. Wonderful. Thank you for telling me that. So on stage, it's never happened, but before, definitely, yes.
That is lovely to know. And I'm also learning a lot of areas where you've managed things on the go, right? Like you said, and it's. I think this comes with experience, right? How to handle a person who's going slightly off track, or where you have made a mistake. How to sort of quietly apologize, but not apologize. Over apologize. I think that comes with experience, right? But do you have any tips? How can we prepare? How can we preempt?
I can tell you that it is good for mistakes to happen. Do not
Mhm.
preempt mistakes. Do not think too much, what will happen, what if this goes wrong. If you actually think what will go wrong, something will actually go wrong. If you are in that zone thinking, I know nothing will go wrong, and even if something goes wrong, we will manage, it will be taken care of. I'll tell you what I do.
Mhm.
I have a habit of singing a song. We grew up listening to radio when we were children, and a few thousand songs are there in our memory because there was nothing else to do when we were growing up. It was only Hindi Bollywood songs. So many a times, experience helps us pick up a song which may be relevant to that particular thing that is going on, or that particular topic that is happening, either in the beginning of the program, probably towards the end of the program, or to just lighten up the situation. Just yesterday on Sunday in the Sunday Bloom Talk Show, midway through the show, I remembered something which was extremely topical to the discussion. So I told the audience, you know what, I'm remembering this song and I will sing this. So it helps lighten the mood. And if you have an audience, which obviously, I mean, we are in India, and who hasn't heard Bollywood songs? People start humming and also singing along with you. So again, it just changes the flow, it just changes the state, it just changes the energy, and you simply move
Absolutely, I totally agree. I remember some instances of this in PS's 2025 also. Okay.
on.
Yes. And on that note, I just want to check with our audience if there are any questions. We would love to take a few questions from the audience right now. So Yebijan is asking, many aspiring speakers fear failure or rejection on stage. How did you navigate those early hurdles, and what advice would you give to those facing similar struggles? Lovely question, Yebijan.
Wonderful, 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 superb question, Abhijan. Thank you for asking that. You know what? A lot of people feel that because they call themselves professional speakers, or they are part of an organization that has the word professional in it, they need to be perfect, or they need to be professional, which means they will not do small speaking intros or gigs or jobs or events. I'll tell you what, especially when you are starting out, you will make mistakes. All of us make mistakes. All of us, the very first time, the second time, maybe even the fifth time, when you are walking up on stage, you will have that problem in your tummy. Your tummy, you will always have that fear. You will always have that feeling. God, what is going to happen? What if this goes wrong? How will people think about me? I will make a fool of myself and all that. You will make a fool of yourself. Mistakes will happen. You will mess up, calling people's names. You will mess up the introduction. You will mess up the timing. All that will happen. That is why when you are starting out, start small. Reach out to your friends. Go to your nearest gymkhana. Go to a Lions Club or a Rotary Club which holds these weekly meetings on Saturdays and Sundays. Ask for opportunities to speak. If you don't get an opportunity to speak, ask for an opportunity to host the show. I'll tell you, my very first hosting wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have asked for it. A lady was hosting, she was regularly conducting these antakshari, these musical programs. Okay, I had attended 2 or 3 of her programs. She came to office, she wanted to sell a tickets for her upcoming program. So she reached out to us, she's sitting with me. I asked her, when is your next show? She said, it is on so and so date. Who's hosting it? She said, we haven't yet found a host, we've not yet decided. I said, I'm ready, why don't you call me? Now, I've never hosted a show before, but I have attended her program. So I know the format, I know what she does, I know what other people do. She immediately said yes. And in less than 15 days, I'm hosting a show of 3 hours, which I've never done before, introducing singers up on stage. Singers up on stage, their name, what song they are going to sing. And what I needed to do is to do a little bit of research about that song. It was from this film, ABCD starred in that film, the music director was so and so. And while shooting this song, this actually had happened. All that had to be done. I did, I was ready, and you know what? Standing ovation at the end of the show. So ask for opportunities. Be it, and by the way, I didn't get paid for it. It was free. Most of these learning experiences will always be free. Don't become rigid and tell people, if you don't pay me 2,000, 5,000, 20,000, I will not speak or I will not host. No, these are your stepping stones to success. This is where you start. This is how you rise. This is what you have to do. Make mistakes, do these small programs, learn. If you are good, you will get references. Why? Because I was part of a Rotary program where I did a program. There were other Rotary members from different clubs. They said, Deepak, why don't you do a show with me next week, next month? It simply snowballs. Start small, start doing it for free, make mistakes, improve. In a few months or possibly in a few years, you arrive.
That was so helpful. And that's going to be helpful for all those new speakers who are just about starting out. But I heard you say the word song too many times in the last 5, 7 minutes. So, what song is on your mind right now? And would you like to
You know,
sing?
I will definitely sing before we end this program. We will definitely sing. I'm just now involved in answering your questions. I don't really have a top of the mind song, but we will definitely sing 100%.
All right, I'll hold you on to that.
Oh
Thank
yes,
you.
yes, yes.
All right. You were just about saying that, when you started off, probably, Yebajan says thank you. Thank you so much, Yebajan. You were saying that, when you started off, you didn't have a specific kind of a skill set, but then you were always on the lookout and you caught hold of opportunities, right? Uh, can you describe how your journey as a leader has evolved? I think speaking is a whole lot of leadership also, because there's a lot that you manage on stage. Maybe there are a lot of things that you're managing backstage as well,
Yeah,
standing right there. So please tell us
yeah.
about it.
There comes a point in your life where, after you kept on repeatedly doing something, and if you are doing it well, there comes a point where people will ask you, the fact that you are doing this so well, you are so good at this topic, why don't you lead? Why don't you coach? Why don't you mentor? Why don't you set an example for others? So, one part of leading is establishing your authority, which means you have to announce to the world that you've arrived. You have to tell people that, you know what, I'm good at this. Reach out to me. I can help you on XYZ. As I said before, there was this one person who walked into my office and he said, Deepak sir, you've got 30 plus years of experience of what you are doing in your field. Why don't you write a book? Coincidentally, just in and around that time, I had attended a 3 day boot camp where people were teaching you how to write a book, how to design your cover, how to, write the subjects, how to start, how to end. And this person walks in and, why don't you write a book? I asked the person who was teaching me, guiding me, mentoring me, I'm in personal finance. There are hundreds of books in personal finance space already. Why would somebody want to read my book? He said, your answer is in the question you asked. The fact that there are hundreds of books already, which means this is a genre, this is a topic people are interested in. They want to read about personal finance. If you are good in your topic, why don't you write a book? And this happened. Yeah,
The
this is
eighth
my
wonder.
book. Yeah,
Yeah.
Compounding the Eighth Wonder. And you know what? Even before telling you about my book, Compounding the Eighth Wonder, I've actually spoken to you in the last 30-35 minutes about compounding. I told you start small. I told you make mistakes. I told you keep on doing it. These are all steps which will lead you to success. That is what compounding is all about. Every small step you take, every small step taken consistently creates compounding. It changes your life. That is what needs to be done. You can never reach the end of your race unless you don't start your race, unless you don't complete the first milestone and then the next milestone. If I want to run the marathon, I will never be able to do it in one shot. I will have to start small. I'll have to do 100 meters, 500 meters, 1 kilometer, 5 kilometers, then a half marathon, and then the full marathon. If you want to lead, Start small, keep on doing it consistently, keep on improving. See, what happens is when you are a leader, there are people who are following you. There will come a time when they will probably go ahead of you. So if you aren't always ahead of the pack, you will lose your leadership position. As a leader, constantly keep reinventing yourself, constantly keep upskilling, constantly become better than the others. Otherwise, you start as a leader, at some point you'll become a follower. You don't want to do that.
That's lovely. Constantly keep upskilling and constantly keep evolving. And I'm also just wondering, so you need to be better than what you were in the last event, perhaps. That small, they say 1% improvement, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And that's what personal leadership is about. I was just wondering,
yeah.
you did refer to PSS 2025, 24. These are high stakes events, and I'm very sure that you would have done many more that we I probably don't know about. Can you tell me a little about your preparation process? How can you be 1% better? What do you do to make sure that you are 1% better?
So I'll just share a real life story with you since you said the PSS 24 and 25. Immediately after we did PSS 25, somebody from our community reached out and told me, you know what, Deepak, there is a very big event happening at the Bombay Stock Exchange. They are looking for someone to host that program, and I have referred you. Okay. So she's really confident. She's been part of my community. She's heard me, seen me hosting, and she has that confidence in me. Now, the person whom she referred to called me. He said, give me a little bit of what you've done, what you do. And I told her, don't worry, we'll do everything on the floor. She reached out to the person who had referred me. She said, Deepak is saying we'll do everything in the flow. He doesn't have any structure. She told him, the fact that I'm referring a person to you, I have the confidence and I know how good he is. Reach out to him, work together, and your thing will happen. She reached out to me. She said, you know what? The person who referred to me has given me absolute 100% assurance that you're good. But we would still like you to come, sit down with us, understand what we do, and then we will take this over. So 2 or 3 days before the main event. Now imagine this is happening at the Bombay Stock Exchange on the main value. Now, me as a person growing up and as a personal finance guy, have been to that Bombay Stock Exchange hall multiple number of times as an audience. This is something that lands up to me in my lap as becoming a host of hosting a full day event in the BSE, standing up on stage. I simply grabbed the opportunity. We spent a full day with this person in their office, learning what their flow is, what kind of people are coming, what guests are coming, how they need to be introduced. And there were VIP people, big shot politicians and really, really big shot people, board members of international companies. They were there. They just wanted to be sure that we are reaching out to a person whom we don't even know, just to see that he is on board. Once we had that 2 hour meeting, they said, now we are assured. We know you will do a good job. And I'll tell you, that event started at 9:30 in the morning. By 5:30, when the event ended, I had at least 50 different visiting cards from people who were there in that audience who I had never met. But everyone came and congratulated, telling me, what a wonderful job. We've never seen this happen before. You held the event great, and we really enjoyed your hosting. And all these people are now connected with me on LinkedIn. So just in 6 months, such a big network has got built of people I had never met before. So one, make yourself so good that people will refer you. Second, give people that confidence that I have referred ABCD person. I know he or she is going to do a good job. Coordinate with the person who is actually holding the event. Do a fantastic job, and things happen.
Coordinate with the person, make sure that you do your preparation on time. Thank you. Thank you so much, Deepak. I'm also wondering if we have any questions from the audience at this point in time. So Mithil is asking, Deepak sir, can you share one key lesson from a book which will help professional speakers in their business and life?
Yeah. Again, so the book's name is Compounding the Eighth Wonder. Yeah. And for some reason, a lot of people simply associate compounding or compound interest with personal finance and money and investing, which is fine. Having said that, compounding is one thing that touches each and every one of us at every part of our life. Today, as a guest, I am coming in front of you. I am a net result of all my experiences from the day I was born till the day today. It's all an effect of compounding. Today, when I stand up and say I am one of the top financial advisors in my core area of expertise, it's because I have spent 40 plus years learning that craft, sharpening my skills, keeping myself updated. Even if I'm sure you are reading my LinkedIn posts, which are coming every day. I'm talking
Every
every day about what is happening internationally. Everybody today is talking about silver and gold. All I'm saying is you need to keep yourself updated. Keep on, as you said, that 1% improvement every day is 37% improvement after 1 year. So let's relate this with professional speaking, standing, holding the mic in your hand. The very first time is going to be a disaster. You will make mistakes, you will screw up. Many of us have an accent. Many of us, pronounce names wrongly, have make grammatical mistakes. Go ahead, let them happen. Take feedback. Keep on improving just a little bit better. Especially within the PSAI space. There are so many events happening. There is an open mic event and take opportunity. Grab the opportunity. Whenever what? A few years ago, especially during 22, 23, I think 3 years ago, there was a time whenever these shows were going on, everybody in the community knew that if somebody drops out, no, call Deepak as either a guest or he will come and host the program if there is a program. Today, when I stand up and deliver, it's all because we were ready to fill in those blanks where people weren't available at the last moment. A guest was needed, Deepak is there. We need somebody to host today's program, Deepak is there. Grab hold of every opportunity. Never say no to anything. Become better. I'm telling you, this is such a giving community. This is such a sharing and caring community. People will give you feedback. They will make you become better. They will hold your hand. They will be with you till you tell them, enough. Now I'm on my own. I don't need your support. Reach out to people. If there is a problem, you want to learn from someone, reach out, take their help. 170 plus members across India and so many other members internationally. Keep on doing that little bit. Take every opportunity. Speak, host, MC, moderate a panel, become a leader. Become that name where people say, you know what? Deepak has been hosting PSS 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Keep on becoming better every year.
lovely advice, as always. You did mention about panel moderation, and I just don't want to let go of that. I think it's a very tough task because sometimes the discussions can be very heated. Sometimes people can monopolize the time, and sometimes they can just go randomly off topic, off tangent. Have you faced something like that in real life? I have seen that on TV.
Many times, many times. Let me be very, very frank. Many times there are a lot of people who start speaking on one particular topic, and for some reason they will go on to a different tangent, and they are assuming that what I'm saying is relevant to what the question was, or relevant to the target audience. May or may not be relevant. You may have experience, you may have expertise, but that is not relevant to the question or the people who are listening to you. So in those, these are moments which make it very difficult. They make life difficult for the host, the panel moderator. Having said that, it comes with practice. So let's say there are three people sitting together and there is a topic in which there is a very heated discussion. A lot of people will try, have cross talk, which means they will start talking even before the other panelist has ended. If you, as a moderator, as a host, have set the ground rules just before the moderation starts, that everyone will be given 2 minutes, or you have to hear out the person before you start objecting or adding our own views. I think it makes life better. However, things like this happen because I tell you, most of us speakers, when we have a mic in our hand, it is very difficult to let go of the mic. We want our voice to be heard. We want our story to be heard. So these things happen.
I was just wondering, yours has been a long speaking career, and it's going well as well. So, wondering what has changed ever since you started to be on the stage for the first time.
Okay. I'll tell you a little bit of my journey when I started making those videos. The first video is almost, I think, now 6 years old. That video is atrocious, atrocious. The lighting is poor. I don't know what I was wearing. Nobody can hear that sound, but I have kept that video on. I haven't deleted it. It is a reminder to me that when you start, you will make mistakes. Things will go bad. Today's video will be much, much, much better than that very first video. So mistakes will happen. You will learn. It's a learning curve. It will go up slowly, and then at one point it will shoot up, the J curve. It will shoot up. It's the hockey stick curve. So in the beginning, nothing will happen for some time. Beyond a point, everything will rise. Just keep at it. Just keep on doing it. Grab all opportunities. Don't let go of any chance. Reach out to people, get mentorship, get feedback. I think this is most important. There are times where people at some point or some level get some arrogance and they think what I'm doing is right and everybody else is wrong. No, take feedback. When somebody senior or somebody experienced gives you feedback, change your course, modify, and then go back again.
Keep at it. Thank you, Deepak.
Yeah,
How about switching gears and going for a rapid fires? Are you in?
sure, sure.
All right. Let's assume your mic stopped working midway. Ouch. What would you do?
You know what? At I This has happened many times, not a single time. It has happened many times. But all I can say is I have been blessed by God to have a voice which has a throw, which has an effect where I can control people. This has happened multiple times. The mic simply stopped working. But as I said, God has been kind. I have that voice and I am able to manage the show. It has happened. I know it may be difficult for a few people. It takes practice. Always, always have standby. Tech glitches will always happen.
I am seeing some comments from the audience asking me to remind you about the song. Take a break from
Ah,
the rapid fire and sing.
oh, okay. So offhand, the song which comes just now is हंसते हंसते कट जाए रस्ते जिंदगी यूं ही चलती रहे खुशी मिले या गम बदलेंगे ना हम दुनिया चाहे बदलती रहे. So things will go bad, things will go wrong. Life is a series of ups and downs. We are all riding the roller coaster. There will be highs, there will be lows, but we will always and always reach our destination. Yeah.
If I think of a song, if I think of you, I'll think of the song going forward. Thank you so much, Deepak. It was so nice. Thank you
Yeah.
for entertaining us, as always.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if there is one line or phrase like they keep repeating in their movies, right? Every 10 minutes they keep repeating one line or one phrase. If there is a line like that, like a Deepakism, what would that line be that you keep overusing?
Deepakism. I don't think I have a Takya Kalam, probably a line which I overuse, but since the name of my book is compounding, I just keep on telling people, just do it. Is that Nike slogan. Just keep on doing it, just keep on sharpening your saw, just keep on upgrading your skills, be relevant. You know what? Because in this world of AI, a lot of people, a lot of jobs, a lot of skills are going to become irrelevant in the near future. Upgrade yourself, update yourself, adapt and adopt. Keep on practicing, keep on doing it, and compounding will do its magic.
Thank you. That was lovely. Um, if you could swap your speaking career with a global speaker for a day, who would be and why?
Hmm. Oh, okay. So one of my mentors, earliest mentors, Sam Cawthon from Australia, fantastic stage presence, great delivery. He's handicapped. He doesn't have a hand. He's got a broken leg, and the way he carries himself and delivers on stage. Sam Cawthon. Oh yes.
That's lovely. I also know someone who, Nick Vujicic, I'm not sure if you've heard,
Yes,
suddenly
yes,
thinks
yes,
that
yeah, yeah.
of his speeches. Yeah, thank you. See, when you inspire others a lot, uh, and when you're not doing that, what inspires you? Is it writing? Is it creating reels? Or is it books? Is it travel? Chai pe charcha? Or something else?
Combo, all of the above, a Belpuri mix of what you said. You know what? I love to many a times just laze around. There are days when I get up in the morning, I decide I'm not going to office today. This is Netflix binging day. I'm not. I will just watch series or movies back to back whole of day today. There are people who are there in office. They are coming back. You know, if somebody wants to meet me and if I'm not there, I know they will come tomorrow. Don't worry. We've built that sort of reputation and experience. So I do this. I love to travel. Really, really love to travel. Alone also, many times with wives also. My wife and children, they are always complaining. You are always leaving us and traveling here, there, and everywhere. So of course, love to travel. Chai pe charcha, wonderful. Creating reels and these shorts, creating content, and staying in touch with what is happening.
And as we are all preparing to travel a little bit for the PSS 2026 event in just a few
Yeah,
months,
yes,
yeah, are you excited?
wonderful. You know what? In just less than 3.5 months, our annual flagship event, PSS 26, is happening in Mahabalipuram next to Chennai. It is my humble request to everyone who is listening in right now to the live session or later on. If you are thinking of becoming a professional speaker, if you want mentors, if you want people who will take you higher, who will take you notches higher, this is one event which you cannot afford to miss. PSS 2026 happening in February in Chennai, where you will get to meet me, Midhu, all the people behind the stage, and of course the whole gang of 170 plus people who are members of the Professional Speakers Association of India, and many, many international speakers. You get to listen to them live, meet them, learn from them, network with them, and see how they are doing things so that maybe in the next year or 2 years or 3 years, you would actually be speaking on an international stage, talking about your experiences, talking about your leadership and how you are leading others. Do not miss PSS 2026 coming soon.
Do not miss that. And we also want you to have a glance at what it is going to be like. Can I request a short video be played on PSS 2026?
One voice can spark an idea, but many voices united create a movement. We are speakers, we are storytellers, we are change makers. We stand on the power of our words, but words alone don't shape the future. It is when voices come together, when knowledge is shared, that's when true transformation happens. We are a young association, bold, relentless, taking confident strides into the world of professional speaking. But we don't walk alone, we rise together. And what better place to experience synergy than a land where time itself has stood witness to it. Welcome to Chennai. This year we gather not just to speak, but to breathe, reflect and connect at a one-of-a-kind beachside retreat in Chennai. Set along the scenic East Coast Road, this beachfront venue blends elegance with energy. Walk barefoot on the sands. Let the sea breeze ignite your next big idea. Share the table with folks from all over the globe and indulge in a buffet that could range from Tair Sadam to biryani, angel hair pasta to zucchini salad, fried fish to grilled lobster and coconut-drenched curries from coastal India. AI will shape our tools, but synergy will shape our destiny. Because while technology may keep throwing up the next big thing, humanity has always strived on synergy. This is our moment. This is our stage. This is our synergy. Professional Speakers Summit 2026. locked to date. Come join us. Be a part of the moment.
Lovely seeing this video, and come join us for the event. And on that note, Deepak, it has been a wonderful conversation, full of insights, stories, and warmth as always. It is a pleasure to have you with us today. And to everyone who's joined in, thank you so much for spending your evening with us and being a part of this engaging session. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for the encouragement. And it's your energy that makes PSAI Talk Show what it really is. And a big thanks to PSAI for giving us this platform today to learn, share, grow as a speaking community. Thank you all so much. Have a great evening ahead.
Thank you, Midhu. Thank you for those wonderful questions. Thank you all PSAI members who are responsible in the background, in the backstage for making this happen, for giving me the opportunity to share my life, my story, and a little bit of my experience so that all of you can become better. Let's meet at PSS 26.
Let's do that. Until next time, keep connecting, keep inspiring. Take care.
Goodbye. God bless.